Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from WDBJ. It's from, they're out of Roanoke, Virginia. They're the local CBS affiliate there. Now, this was published on December 20th, and it's by Eric Miller. And the thing here is, you can tell which way Eric and the station lean on the note of their stance on this whole Second Amendment sanctuary situation. And they're not liking it. They're afraid of the pushback that's going on here. The left in general in Virginia is afraid of that. I mean, this Bloomberg coup, we'll call it, even though it's not exactly the most appropriate term, of, democracy. Because he just pumped shit tons of money in, and this is the outcome of it. This was their plan, to go after firearms. Because they moved too quickly. People looked up and went, huh? Wait a minute. What do you think you're doing? Oh, hell no. You ain't coming to take my shit. And now they're afraid of that because they figured this would be like how they've moved gun control measures in the past. It's the idea of the frog. You put it in cold water, you put it on the stove, and you slowly turn up the heat. That's what they were doing. But they kind of went full spurg here and said, oh, hell, we can get this to pass. And it's because they're freaking out right now. This, in part, has to do with the whole Trump situation. They're so Trump deranged that they're no longer hiding what their plans are, what they want to do. They're openly and brazenly doing it. They had started doing it under the tail end of the second Obama term. But Trump just caused something to snap, and they went from being kind of open about it, but they weren't throwing it in your face, to flat out, like, in your face, going, yeah, you can't do shit. And the people are like, what? Excuse me? Fuck you. And this is the end result, because this is their fuck you to them, and they don't like it, and they're afraid of it. Anyway, let's get into the article here. From Bedford to Beaufort, Second Amendment sanctuaries have been popping up across Virginia. The resolutions are largely symbolic, designed to send a message to state government. They are more than largely symbolic when they are saying that their local police forces, their sheriffs, and like other city officials are not going to enforce any Second Amendment violating law that they passed, these Democrats that Bloomberg propped up and got in there. That's more than symbolic. That's literally going with both middle fingers up in the air right at you and going, fuck you. But you want to try to frame this into a completely different situation because you want to be like, oh, well, they don't have any power. It's just symbolic. They can't do shit, and it's going to happen. This is the type of feel and perception they want to give to this with this opening statement, or I should say Eric in particular. But that's not how it works. But Eric Tershwell worries the sanctuaries could do some real I'm sorry, I can't say that without laughing. Sorry, let me try that again without laughing. But Eric Tershwell worries that sanctuaries could do some real world harm. How? By ensuring that people have the right to protect themselves? And they're not reliant on a government that, having more and more power and more control over their lives, and they're able to defend themselves and protect themselves, their families, their property. Come on now. These resolutions are nothing more than an attempt to short-circuit the democratic process, he said. Excuse me. First off, the democratic process. We live in a democratic republic that has a constitution guiding it. The Second Amendment flat out says shall not be infringed. Don't care about your quote-unquote democratic process that took millions upon millions upon millions of Bloomberg dollars to get that Democrat majority. I really don't care. You have some out-of-stater coming down there, pumping shitloads of money into the state election, and somehow this is acceptable. No one's calling out Bloomberg for doing that. You don't hear Cenk, with his, let's get big money out of politics bullshit going, of course, what Bloomberg did there was wrong. Sorry, but I can't really do my Cenk like I did in my last video. Just didn't prepare for it. But Seriously, you don't see Cenk or anyone on the left calling them out for calling that out, that big money stuff, the ones that claim, oh, we got to get the big money out of politics. Because they're fine with this. This is something that they want. If they were, true to their ideals, be a different story. And this idea that it's a short circuit of democratic process. You have a bunch of legislators that got in there under the circumstance I said, which is, legal, but they don't represent the people. And because they don't represent the people have said, hey, assholes, you represent us. We don't want that. If you think you're going to get away with this and we're going to accept it, you can go screw yourselves, because we're going to let you know. If you try to come and take our guns, it's not going to happen. When you have sheriffs there saying, I will deputize people, I will deputize concealed carry holders to stand up against this, you know the shit's going to hit the fan and you're not going to win. No matter how you try to play this, the optics does not look good for the Democrats on the left in Virginia, because they are literally going to be trying to send in the National Guard. And the National Guard took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States. A lot of them, you might have the low IQ dumb fucks who are going to be like, okay, I'll follow all orders. But you're going to have a lot of people who are going to be like, no, wait a minute, no. I ain't going to go and take someone's guns. And they don't have enough people that they can weed those ones out and keep them out of this. They need every person if they bring in the National Guard. And it's not going to work for them. They're not going to get federal help on this, no. There are going to be a lot of police officers like in the state police, if they try to use the state police, that aren't going to follow on this. The sheriffs, they are the ultimate law in their counties. The Supreme Court ruled this. So if they try to go into a county, even if they send the National Guard in and the sheriff says no, the sheriff has the power to arrest them on the spot for operating within his county. This is going to be a clusterfuck for them. Literally, and like on the note of what's going to happen if they push this. And the optics of it nationally, even internationally, because they're not going to be the ones looking good, because they can try to portray this as a situation where, oh, these evil people, they're violating the law. We were just trying to enforce it. Look what they did. They're still not going to look good. Anyway, Tishwell is Managing Director of Litigation and National Enforcement Policy at Everytown for Gun Safety, a gun control advocacy group. Yes, one, if memory serves, that's funded by Bloomberg. Oh, wait, it is. He said, which, you got to love that. We're talking about Bloomberg. It's a Bloomberg lackey. Well, of course, I read this ahead of time, but that's the point. He says he's sounding the alarm now because of the rapid spread of these sanctuaries across Virginia and beyond. Yes, they're freaking the fuck out. They're losing right now because people are telling them, we aren't going to let you do this. And they don't like being told no. If these folks actually follow through on what at this point is really just a threat to not enforce laws, that's where I think the real danger will reveal itself, he said. Whoa, not enforce laws. You mean unconstitutional laws. Because they won't enforce an unconstitutional law, or in this case, multiple laws, that you want, you Bloomberg lackey shill shitbag. Because they don't want to enforce them. You're upset. I hate to break it to you, the Constitution trumps your stupid-ass laws that were written by you people. I mean, you got to understand this. Bloomberg paid all these people off. He got them elected. So when his people show up there at their door and say, you see this legislation? We want this legislation put forward. We want your name on it. They got to go, yes, the master, regardless of the skin of their color of their skin. Because they're slaves to Bloomberg. They're his bitch. Okay, he's the pimp. They're the whores. They go and earn him his fucking dues. And if they don't do it, he'll bitch slap them in the end. And they know this. So they're going to do his fucking work for him. Why do you think all these people who had Bloomberg money all of a sudden push this shit before they're even in office? They don't even go in until January, and they're already putting bills forth. That should give you a fucking, wake-up call. Just in general, for people across the country, if this is what's going to happen, Bloomberg comes in, or someone else with money, this is what they're trying to do now. They just don't care. People in Virginia saw this and went, holy shit, they woke the hell up. And they're saying, not going to happen in my state. And they don't like that. These people, like Tishwell, Bloomberg, all these people behind this, they don't like that. They want the people to just take it. They want them to bend over, with no Vaseline, never mind a glob of spit on the tip, and just take it up the ass and get anally raped. It's ridiculous that they're free, that they think they can get away with this. And then when people, go, oh, hell, you're not going to do it, that they're going to paint them in a bad light. It just doesn't work like that. Tershwell argues the resolutions are problematic for a number of reasons. Most importantly, he says, because they put lives at risk. Whose lives? Criminals? Because the criminals are the only ones with the guns. When you outlaw guns, only the authoritarians and the criminals are the ones who have them. And sure enough, look at every place where they've outlawed the guns. Only the authoritarians and the criminals have them. So why don't you look at the fact that if you pass this, Tershwell and Bloomberg and every other shitbag behind it, you're going to be putting law-abiding citizens at risk. You're going to put their lives at risk. This is ridiculous. These resolutions could have, and threaten to have, a chilling effect on people who might otherwise use or take advantage of gun safety laws to try to prevent harm, like suicide, a homicide, or even a mass shooting, he said. Well, you know what? First off, people are going to kill themselves regardless of guns. That's the low down dirty truth of it. UK outlawed guns, didn't affect their suicide rates. Europe, most of the countries outlawed guns, didn't affect their suicide rates. People are going to kill themselves regardless. So that's a moot point. And this idea of prevent harm is such a broad term. Harm to who? Like I said, the criminals? I mean, who is it going to prevent harm from? Law-abiding citizens are only going to use their guns to defend their lives, their limb, their property, their families. An innocent person that they see being attacked or whatever else. They're not going to cause harm to anyone other than the people that are inflicting harm. That's the idea of having it. It's for self-protection and the protection of others. Besides the fact of standing up to a tyrannical government, which the state of Virginia decided they wanted to become a tyrannical government because of Bloomberg money. And this idea of a mass shooting. More people die, from hands and feet and hammers and knives and all these other means. Baseball bats, I'm sure. Than anyone getting shot by the supposed, primary weapon of choice, the Armalite, yada, yada, yada. Because, I've already probably been screwed by the algorithm with this, but an AR-15. But they don't want to admit this shit. However, gun rights organizers say Tershwell and other critics are missing the message. They don't want to hear the message. It's not that they're missing it. They don't care. That's the bottom line. They do not care. In statements to city and county governments across the region, citizens have argued that the resolutions are about making the governor and House of Delegates pay attention because we don't have a voice at the state level. We only have a voice at the local level, said one man at a Pulaski Board supervisor meeting. Yeah, that's exactly it. Because you see, you had Bloomberg money come in, and these people lost their voice because of it. And now they're exercising their right to do this. Because the thing is this not only affects the Second Amendment, it goes after the First Amendment, the right to free assembly. the right to choose who you want to associate with. If you have firearms and you're a couple people just hanging out, oh shit, that's a felony. You're organizing. And you could just be chilling out. It's ridiculous, these laws in Virginia. But the left doesn't care. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about self-protection. What they care about is securing more and more power. And an armed populace goes against that very, very sought-after fact of theirs, that they want that. It goes against everything they're trying to do. The supporters also say the movement is chiefly about standing up for constitutional rights. Exactly. Don't let Beaufort County be culpable in the death of liberties and freedoms, said another man to the Beaufort County Board of Supervisors. Exactly. See, the thing is, they try to throw this in to go, oh, we're fair and unbalanced. But they know most people are just going to read the first half of the article, read Tershwell's crap, and not even finish. Tershwell takes issue with that, noting laws frequently decried by gun rights activists, like expanded background checks and so-called red flag laws, have been upheld in courts. They're still constitutionally questioned. It's pre-crime. You are innocent until proven guilty. And this idea of expanded background checks, go check out what that is, because Massachusetts has it. Go look into what it's like to get a gun in Massachusetts. It's a bitch. That's an understatement, too. That's being nice about it. This is ridiculous. Oh, it's been upheld in courts. It's never gone to the Supreme Court. And do you honestly think a red flag law thing is going to, a red flag law case is going to fly at the Supreme Court, especially right now with the slant of it? No. And with the way that Ginsburg is doing, let's just say she's holding on for dear life. I got to remember to mute my phone when I do this. Sorry about that. She's holding on for dear life right now. Just because the left is propping her up. I wouldn't be surprised if they got Walt Disney Imagineers standing on the ready, so when she does croak, they can like turn her into an Imagineer puppet. You know, be like the old days of going through the Hall of Presidents where you have you know, like Lincoln going 407 years, you know. Like, I mean, seriously, I wouldn't be surprised to put that past them. They'll like take her skin off, like oh, what was it, Buffalo Bob? No, that's Joe Dirt. The character that from Silence of the Lambs. You know, take the skin off and put it over this like animatronic body, like it's him, and have him wear it like a suit. You know, have him wear it like a suit. I would be surprised because they're so desperate right now. This idea of being upheld in courts, it hasn't gone to any higher courts. It's so sad that they're freaking out right now. You'd think they would take it like adults. These officials aren't, quote unquote, defending the Constitution, as they like to say. They're really threatening to defy it and to substitute their own personal views of what's constitutionally said. Excuse me? Excuse me, you little projecting, lying sack of shit. Tershwell, dude. Oh my God, you are so bad. What don't you get about the right to bear arms, the way that it's written? Hold on. Just so I can quote it exactly. All right. Do I trust Google? Yeah, let's trust them. Okay, Second Amendment. Full text. This way. Because I want to do the whole thing here. Where's the full text? Oh, God. Of course, history's going to interject a bunch of shit. I just want the full text. Oh, and you're going to make me... Okay. A well-regulated militia. being necessary to the security of a free state. Which, let me read out the punctuation too, just to make it clear. A well-regulated militia, comma, being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, comma, shall not be infringed. Period. End of story. See, they want to ignore because they don't understand that commas, they're supposed to be able to read and speak proper English, but they don't understand. Commas are used to delineators. Okay? So the right of the people to keep and bear arms, okay, is separate from being necessary to the security of a free state. On the note of it's separate from a well-regulated militia. It's being separate from necessary of the security of a free state. Period. It's separate. It's being clearly laid out there. The right to bear arms, keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. So they have a right to a well-regulated militia. This is how you break it down. They have a right to a well-regulated militia because it is necessary for the security of a free state. Because the people are there, that they make up the state. They have the right to keep and bear arms. And none of these things shall be infringed. But see, dipshit here, Tishwell, how do I put this? Bloomberg's cockholster. All right. He doesn't understand that. He does, but he doesn't care. He doesn't see it that way. Oh, well, they're the ones that are violating the Constitution. There's literally the Second Amendment is clearly defined, and you want to violate it. And you're saying they're the ones in saying you can't do that are the ones that are violating the Constitution. This is the mentality of the left these days. They do not care about the Constitution, but they will evoke it in name when it suits them. It's so funny. These people are so sad. They're showing their true colors. And they think that now that they're showing their true colors, they can get away with the stuff that they're doing. But they've woken up people. More and more people have been waking up since the run-up to the 2016 presidential election. And more are waking up. It's beautiful. Tershwell says, for now, Tershwell says, for now, any threat posed by the resolutions is purely theoretical. No, it's not. However, he warns any officials who try to use the resolutions to defy state gun control laws could have a rude awakening. Ooh, a little bitch threatened these people. You gotta love what a little bitch does. I got Bloomberg behind me. So what if he's got his dick up my ass and he's working me like a puppet? He's behind me. What a cocky little bitch. Wow. I wouldn't suggest betting on them, he said. Really? Why, you think you're going to send in the National Guard when there's not enough of them to cover the state and you can't weed out the ones that won't follow a gun grab because you might have a few low IQ dipshits that would? Aw, does that hurt your feelings? Why? Because you got sheriffs saying that they're going to deputize citizens if you pull your shit? That ain't going to go well. How did it work out for you lefty dumb fucks in your land grab with the Bundy Ranch? Okay, with BLM. Oh, that's right. It didn't. You tried to demonize everyone there. You tried to make them look like they were like breaking the law, even though it was openly seen that BLM was being used by a Nevada member of, was he a senator? I believe he was a senator, to steal land. He might have been in Congress. He might have been in the House. But anyway, it was being used to steal land. Under some bullshit thing. Didn't work out. You tried to demonize, villainize them, and go after the Second Amendment with them. Didn't work. You think it's going to work here? You're going to have the average people. This isn't going to be like the Bundy Ranch where you're going to have, the woke people. Well, red-pilled, woke, however you want to look at it. Because I think both of those terms are cringe at this point. But the people who had a clue. You have more people that have a clue. The normies are having a clue now. This shit ain't going to fly. See, you're the ones that need to worry. And that's why you're projecting here. Well, you better not do anything because you're going to regret it. No, you're the one that's going to fucking regret it. See, that's usually like the little whiny bitch who goes, you better not do something because you're going to regret it. It's because they're the ones that are going to regret you doing it. And they don't want you to do it. And they just want these people to fall in line. Ain't going to happen. Will not happen. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.